Get in the game. All right, folks, welcome back to the North American Friday Night Fight Night. You might be wondering why I preface it with North American. I'll explain that in a sec. Let's get in a game first. Spawning here on the bottom left side, playing for Chivo, it's the blue Zerg player, Cham. His opponent at the top right, of course, going to be the red Terran player, Masa. And just for the sake of the VOD, in case we cut this up funny, just so you guys are all aware, Masa was late today. He almost had a disqualification, but then we wouldn't have been able to have a show without him, so we came to a middle ground agreement where Masa has been penalized the equivalent of last place in today's tournament in prize money, which is $25. So he will receive $25 less than whatever he finishes for today. I do hope him the best. I have no ill will against him. He's still one of my favorite Terran players. His micro is superb, but just so everybody is aware, he has been penalized in that regard. But yeah. Getting back to it, T-Fez, our YouTube editor, by the way, just subbed for his full 1 year to say, saw the YouTube thing, love you, buddy. Yeah, I know, dude, it's been a mess, but we'll get through it. Ken Scott, thank you for the 19 months as well. But let me talk about the North American aspect of this, because Masa has chosen to stay at home instead of going for a proxy. Masa told us last time we saw him play, he's a good boy, he doesn't proxy, and I guess he's holding true to his word for now, I say with a bit of an asterisk. But we've got two different match arena pages set up. Number one is for North America. Number two is for tomorrow morning when we do the European show matches or Saturday night fights in Europe. It'll be morning in North America. I don't know. Point is, we got two different prize pools set up. The prize pool for each of these events is fully covered. All players, with possibly the exception of Masa, will get paid prize money no matter what. However, whichever of those two match arenas has more dollars in it at the end of tomorrow's broadcast will determine what next week's fight night will look like, whether we do it for a North American thing or a European thing. There are free ways to contribute. You can add up to $2 by clicking two of the links. One is to follow us on Twitter. The other is to join our Discord. You don't have to do either of those things, but if you click the links, it'll add money to the prize pool. So be sure to check it out if you want to make sure that there's North American stuff coming next week instead of Eurotrash. Am I right, fellow North Americans? I definitely won't be smack talking North America in the EU stream tomorrow. Don't worry, guys. This is totally just for them. Fuck Europe. They can't even keep Britain together. Am I right? Anyways, Cham's a really solid guy. I think when I was casting with TLO, I like referring to this because I think he described it very well. Cham is a very brute force player. He'll hit you with a lot of roaches and a lot of units, not a lot of mind games, not a lot of crazy tactics. And Nidus Worms are certainly in his repertoire, as we saw from last week. Masa, though, with a nice little move of that factory, gets an Overlord kill. Not quite supply blocking Cham early on, but strips away that easy mode Zerg vision. Also, we just got a dank resub. Is that the WCS broadcaster? Is that the guy who... Is that Fear... Oh, no, that's Nathanius. Damn it. Thank you for the 56th month, Nate. You know, Nate, you and Loserfruit are my two longest subs on Twitch. FYI, continue flushing money down the toilet every month just for you, BB. I hope you are doing well, sir. Masa not opting for a fast third CC in the normal location. He has put it in part of his wall, but I do want to note that Masa has been very, commonly doing a third CC very quickly. I always find this a little bit odd because that used to be such a trademark, like, oh, if I scout this as Zerg, I'm going to all in you. But because he went out of his way to remove the Overlord, there's a much larger chance that that third CC does not get scouted, and I'm wondering if that's why he chose to put it part of the wall opposed to the main. Because he knows there could be an Overlord like this one waiting to come in, whereas he knows nothing's going to see it from up here. Not a huge detail yet, but possibly could have been one depending on how this game played out for Cham. Masa is playing mech, however, and that's something that Cham will need to identify sooner rather than later, as it requires a very different composition from Zerg to deal with. Can't just hit it with Lings. Banlings actually, funny enough, still work in some situations, but for the most part, you know if it's mech, it's probably going to be Cyclones and Hellions and not so much tanks and Thors. But this first push here is going to be a Raven. That auto turret will help kill some Queens. Hellbats soon here out of the Hellions, I'm sure. Actually, not soon. I take that back. It's not even an armory even started yet. So this is just getting rid of creep tumors. I thought he was ready to go all in against the Queens. I was mistaken. Kylo TV says, silly question, but what overlay is this? I always see it. If you're talking about the stuff down here, this is called Game Heart. It is a bit of an older school one, but it is my favorite. I don't like the WCS one because I feel it hides information and doesn't look as good, to me at least. I'm actually not sure. I've never asked you guys before. Do you prefer Game Heart or WCS? I don't think I would be persuaded to use WCS anytime soon, but I guess I'm not sure what the audience is used to. I suppose if you watch more WCS, you're more likely to say the WCS overlay, but I like this one just because there's so much information provided, and it's just... Even if you catch me not talking about the game, you can still tell what's going on because it's all displayed all the time, always. We do have Magfeld Accelerator coming out of Masa, by the way. Not so unexpected. This paired up with Blue Flame tends to be the typical way to play, but he's prioritized this over Blue Flame, which is an interesting thing to note. I guess he's a little bit more worried about the roaches than anything else. BitRanch says with 53 months, Game Heart. A lot of you guys saying Game Heart in the chat. Okay, cool. I mean, the beauty is, at least with Game Heart and WCS, they are similar enough that it's not jarring to look at, right? It's not like one has information on the bottom and the other has information on the top. The production tab is the biggest thing that changes, but that's whatever. But cool. Good to get some feedback on it. Thanks, guys. Good to know. Now, this run by does a little bit more than I expected, probably a little bit more than Masa expected. It kills all the Hellions that are at home to defend. I don't know if he was just waiting to make Hellbats or not. He does already have an armory, but he's building a second one as we speak. Either way, I think Hellbat's going to clean that up. Very awkward moves there. Loses several SCVs for it, 9 in total. Now he goes for his attack. Now there's a Liberator on the top side. There will be a Liberator down here to the south. We got some Hellions looking to hit down the middle with this too. And there's some drop overlords, which is kind of an interesting move out of Cham, but I don't know if those will really work in this situation. With the Magfeld Accelerator done, if he scouts those overlords, they're going to die, so will all the cargo inside them. For those who are unfamiliar with Magfeld Accelerator, you've heard me mention this several times, so it basically doubles the damage of the lock-on from the Cyclone from 400 to 800. And no, I'm not kidding. Those are real numbers. Those are real values. It's kind of insane. As you guys can see here, they like 4-shot a roach. I don't know actually how much it is, but they take that down real quick. Of course, now you can't take the head-on fight like this. That's one of those definitely easier said than done things, but if he gets a lock-on, some good damage for sure. Those overlords coming down the right side, they're about to hit the barracks, so Masa will have vision of this, but I still don't know if he can respond to it. He doesn't really have anything in the main base. The Cyclones have to move, like, now, but he's focused on the front. He's not even looking over here. I don't know if he even saw this on the mini-map. Like, he may have seen it, but he may not have acknowledged it. He may not have noticed it. So, this is a real problem. With 8 roaches soon to be in the main base, that's a lot of dead SCVs, because if he's so busy focused fighting on the front lines, he's likely not looking in his main. The roaches land, the command center's being dealt with here. I guess he pulled the SCVs, which is a very good move on his part. He can't really afford to respond to multiple locations right now. The Raven's over here too. The burrow play is not going to work out for Cham the way he wants to in that regard, but it will in the front line keep dodging some of these shots. It's a great way to lose the lock-on. However, lock-on still deals so much damage, but by the time these roaches burrow, they're already dead. He should be able to hold against the Ravagers, but these roaches in the main base have still not been properly dealt with, and this has been chaos for Masa, who has his army supply almost at 1/3 the value of Cham. What is going on here? Game Art's a free download? Yes, absolutely it is. GG's. Ladies and gentlemen, Cham takes game number 1. That is a little surprising, to say the least, but well played. Got a couple of subs that came in there too. Sorry guys, I was really busy actually talking about the game for once ever. BitWrench, thank you for the 53 months. I am Huckleberry. Gifted a sub to I answer to no one. Well, now you answer to Huckleberry. Dedicated Duck, thank you for the 7 months. What do you call StarCraft without Kel Azur? Sans Diego. That's good, I like that. Actually, if you're a fan of Kel Azur, he'll be playing in tomorrow morning's fight night, representing Europe. The second map here, I think, is Cyber Forest. Let me get those set up really quick. Oh, I'm Huckleberry. Paid it forward, by the way. He gifted a sub to Chaos Vikstrom, which I think is supposed to be worm spelled really funny for some reason. Thank you for that. Hell with that. I played Terran. I'm still cheering for Cham. Hey, that's fine, dude. Cham's a really fun player to watch. No shame in that at all. All right. Let's refresh the match arena page. We're up to $247 now. Not too shabby. Again, I'm not saying you guys have to use your own cash, but would suggest taking advantage of mine by clicking those links on the match arena page so that you get some money added to the pool. Now, players are saying they're ready. We're going to hop right into it and get into game number 2 in this best of 3. Now, I don't have sweet brackets set up. My pens, I guess I could make some. Okay, that's a good way to choke on a pen. Try to bite the lid off. I thought that would look cool. It did not. Anyways, getting into game number 2. The reason I bring up the brackets, though, is there is a bracket command for the Wikipedia page. There are going to be 5 best of 3s in total tonight, boys, for the Friday night fight. Spawning here in the top left side. Let me swap these around. Got +1 on the board for his score. It's going to be the blue Zerg player, Cham. Is there code for Match Arena? No, sadly not. The only way to get in on this one is to click the links and join our Discord or follow us on Twitter. If you're already following us on Twitter or already on our Discord, that's fine. You can still click those links. It'll slide $1 each. But ladies and gentlemen, to the bottom right side, we have the red Terran player. It's Masa. Currently down 1 game. There's a lot of over-moderating going on right now. What was this message deleted by Diet Soda? Morganoth says, ! Vote ban Desiod. Sir, this is how you get a bad reputation as a moderator. I don't like to use the phrase Nazi mod, but if you're gonna go around censoring the people, just saying. But yeah, I'm gonna complain a little bit more, guys, so I can get it out of my system, because I'm still being a whiny little baby about the events of today. So the StarCraft portion of this aside, I've been a little bit sick recently, as some of you know, and part of being sick is not wanting to go outside. So I ordered groceries online, as I've done many times in the past, often without any issue. And in these groceries, I ordered a bunch of orange juice, stuff that, like a NyQuil, stuff that, like I need. This isn't like a junk food run, right? And they don't deliver it, so they tell me to reschedule it. So I do. And they don't deliver it. They tell me to reschedule it. So I do. And I'm supposed to get it today. Just doesn't come. I don't even get a call saying it's late. I don't get a call saying it's going to be missing. It just didn't come. When I called into the store, they're like, oh yeah, we don't see you have a delivery for today. So I'm sitting in my house right now with basically nothing. Like a couple slices of bread. I ordered some chicken for dinner from Church's Chicken. I'm just so done with today. The copyright strike. The groceries failing to be delivered 3 days in a row. The players not showing up. The players canceling. I'm sorry. I just realized I'm starting to sound a lot like Wardy here. I'm bitching a lot on stream. My bad. But just getting it out of my system, boys. All right, clear my head. Focus on the game. Also, can we please stop deleting messages unless they actually need to be deleted? This is a real request because I have to tab out to check. And like, I don't want to be tabbing out to check. Please, thank you. Gets the Overlord, gets the Overlord. Oh, that's nice. So that little bit of chaos Cham caused ends up really not being worth it. Granted, he kills a couple SCVs, which is great. But losing the Overlord not only loses 100 minerals, but the vision. However, this is not necessarily any better for Masa. He does have a lot of Marines to work with, but there's no bunker set up on this high ground. There's no Widow Mines coming out of this factory, and that Roach push is coming hard. In fact, Roach Ravager all-in rarely works because most of the time a Reaper leaves the base, heads across the map, and scouts. Masa, having foregone this move, not going to see this coming until it's frankly already too late. Marauder gets started up here. I think this is a little bit out of desperation. Customer Shells is not a bad move. Catch some of those Ravagers, be a little bit harder to kill otherwise. Maybe there's a world here where Masa holds, but this is a lot easier said than done. Right now, Cham certainly has a good hold of the situation. All out, if you ask me again after the game, I can give you an answer to that. But it's going to take too long to talk about right now. Hellions and SCVs pulled. I mean, this is already going to take a huge hit to the economy. Just having to pull the workers off. That's a lot of resources lost. Not just from the SCVs dying, from a lack of mining. Double mules come down to try and bridge that gap. He's almost held this, but the problem is, in holding it, has lost more workers than he presently has alive. Gets the last Ravager. Liberator's going to head straight across the map. I don't imagine he's going to spend much time at home, but still unable to deal with this last Roach very comfortably. Super annoying for Masa. It's just got nothing else. Pulls SCVs again, because this is his only option. My drill will be one that pierces the heavens. All right. Liberator sends itself across the field. It will likely not get enough worker damage to make this worthwhile for him. And I don't know what Masa does to recover. It looks like Banshees might be on his mind, but then he decides to swap back. He does have a second CC, and that extra mule has been helping bridge the gap of this economy pretty nicely, but the depots are raised, and I've done this. You've done this if you're a Terran player. His SCVs are trapped outside the base, which is super awkward. A little bit of a sweet spot here on Cyber Forest, being super annoying with that Liberator, but unfortunately will still be pushed off by the Queens, and yeah, things look pretty grim for our Terran. Masa, had he played so greedy, had a third CC, and on top of that managed to be surviving in this situation, I'd feel a lot better for him. But it's taken him a long time to get his worker count up to even half that of Cham's. So things do not get easier as time goes on. Huckleberry, by the way, gifted a sub to the Juice 27. Hey, that guy really on his road back to recovery. Thank you for that, man. Yeah, Masa doesn't have a bunker or a wall off, so it's really terrifying. There could be another push possibly following this up. Papa Mitch, thank you for the 60 months, 5 years, ... Yeah, man. A long time. Thank you for coming back. If you are like... Oh, dude, that's game over right there. Masa doesn't even see this. That's super... He's super dead. Roddy? Okay. Well... Yeah, it's a little disappointing. 3 Marauders are not going to hold. The Queens, the Roaches, they're not that many, but they're just enough. He's going to kill that tech lab, possibly here. Deny tanks. Deny cyclones. The Roaches actually get blasted really hard. They went a little too far away from the Queens. The Queens should really be the ones taking the shots from the Marauders, so in that regard, Moss is actually handling this not too badly. He's done a little bit of counterattack damage too with the Queens having brought across the map. He doesn't have anything to push off the Liberator. Actually, with the Queens having been killed, only one gets out at home. This Liberator denies a lot of mining. This, for Masa, is finally something going his way. The Nightly Swarm I thought was going to be a game over move, and to be honest, most of the time it is. He still lost a lot of workers holding it. Masa in total has lost 34 SCVs this game. Yikes. His counterattack play here with Micro could go well. Marauders, of course, can do quite a bit here with those concussive shells, but there's a limit. Eventually, that medevac either runs out of energy or it's pushed off by the Queen. So I really, truly, genuinely don't know how much Masa can do in this situation, but he's going to give it his all. And Micro his heart out. He has to be a god in this situation. There is creep still spreading in his main base. He hasn't realized that yet, which is a problem. Now, this is not quite a warp prism doing some pickup drop Micro, but it's still enough that grabs a couple of drones and a Roach. Possibly a couple more drones. Zoinks. I don't know if he has the DPS to kill all these. He might need to land the Viking. No, he's got it with the Marines. Okay. I just thought the scan would go away before that last team died. Marine damage is better than anticipated. But I guess since we have a bit of lull in the action, I can answer that Partouf question that was asked earlier. So prior to this, we had no way to really handle the Partoufs, and the mailing system is still a problem. But one thing we're able to do now with Twitch is better measure how long people have been sub for. I didn't really discuss this publicly because I didn't want people to advertise this and if people start taking advantage of it. But one thing we ran into prior to stopping mailing out Partoufs was there's a lot of people who I don't think did this out of any kind of malicious will, but they wanted to get a jump on it. And we didn't have a way to really verify it unless you resubbed in Twitch chat. So we had people who were at like 6 months trying to claim a Partouf. We've mailed a couple of those out. I was not happy about that. However, Twitch has now done the months cumulative instead of consecutive. So you can see somebody's been subbed for X many months total. I still have to find the price point of the new Partouf because mailing is still very expensive in Canada. It's anything international. So yes, we still have real life hardcore Partouf coins, and I do want to send them out to people who've been subbed for over a year. I just have to find a way to do that still. So I ask you guys kindly, just hang tight. I'm sorry, I know some of you really want this, but I'm working on it. And that's all I have for you at the time being. Because unfortunately, no matter how hard I work, it doesn't change how much it costs for Canada to mail something to, say, England or the United States. So yeah, if you've been here for more than 12 months, my best suggestion would be keep an eye on Discord. I want to have plans for this sometime in the next 2 weeks is my personal goal. We've been working on this slowly for months, but I want to have something finalized in the next couple of weeks. So again, be in our Discord server, because once I have an announcement to make, I'll put it in the announcement channel. And if you're not on our Discord channel, don't just join it. Join it through Matcherino so you add $1 to the North American prize pot. Anyways, I've been talking a lot while we've been watching. I should talk a little bit more about how much Masa has done to get himself back into this game. Resources lost looks great at a glance. He's got a good push down here. Cham doesn't have a lot initially to deal with this, but once those Ravagers are done, I think he squashes the attack. So while all this goodwill from Masa out of Micro has done quite a bit to get him back in the game, he's still very much behind. Roach is getting top of the tanks. First one shot out, second one going to go down, but he does save the Marines. However, this was cosmetic damage for Cham. On the front line, it's a couple of roaches, a couple of very cheap and easily replaceable roaches. So for Masa, he still hasn't done much in that regard in terms of hurting Cham's economy or hurting his path in this game. And Cham is not only supply capped, but he's going to be able to max out at some point. Big push down the middle of the map comes in with not just a lot of roaches, but I also want to stress he's got two to go with this. So 8 Ravagers, 22 roaches, that's more than plenty to deal with 5 Marauders. Gets the siege tank up here on the high ground. In fact, those Marauders aren't even at home. They're across the map, still waiting to do damage in the main. Holding this position. This is some, like, it starts a religion if you pull it off type shit. Roaches walk right past that command center. Nothing to keep these away from the tank. SCVs get pulled now to try and keep them off that tank. Splash damage for the tank's not doing anywhere close to enough. Liberator's helping out a ton, actually. Ravager's not focusing this down. I think he's busy, distracted in the main base. Masa, of course, losing 28 SCVs to make this happen. Look at that attack, though. That went from being 70 supply with the roaches to being like 5 Ravagers and a couple roaches left over. So close to holding this, but not close enough. GG. Cham will take the series with a 2-0, knocking Masa down to the elimination match, where he will face off against Vindicta in a best-of-3 TVT. Oh, that's my dryer. Forgot I did laundry earlier. So we'll do elimination match first. I'm gonna go to a small commercial break, and when we get back, guys, Vindicta versus Masa in a TVT. After that, Puck versus Cham in a PVZ. I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.